Welcome to Sportsaholic, episode 6, I believe. Is it episode 5 or episode 6? I'm losing count. I've done so many of these. Been so fun. Yeah, so I said 5 or 6. We have two guests here today.
The best guest ever.
Best guest.
The best guest, Luke.
Usually I'm behind.
And
this.
then we got Vinny. Welcome
How are
back.
we?
It's
Hi.
been a couple weeks.
Yeah, I retired and then I didn't.
He unretired and then came back.
And
Yeah,
came back
So the first thing we'll get to
like
is
he's Brett
just-
Favre.
Like
yeah,
he's
I'm Brett Favre.
Favre.
I am Brett Favre.
He's Brett Favre. He's Brett Favre of the radio.
Yep.
My best friend, though.
Type stuff.
I mean, that's more Joe Beningo right now.
Yeah, Joe Beningo, yeah.
I'm Andy Pettit that one year.
Keep at it. So the first thing we'll talk about is the game from last night, the Jet game. We'll just go quick little talk about that. I don't know if you guys watched.
I watched some of it.
Yeah,
I heard there was a controversial missed catch. I'm not sure
yeah.
if
We'll talk.
you could go up.
There-
I'll
there's a
go.
lot.
I'll go in on
That
that.
was
for
it.
you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So first, we'll just go into the stats. So
Sure.
for the Jets, it was Rodgers was 22 of 32 for 211 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Vinny's rocking the Expos hat.
I missed my Expos. Pedro Martinez,
Bring 'em
guys,
back.
forever.
Bring them back.
One day.
one day.
Brees Hall ran for 15 carries, 74 yards. This is what you asked. Garrett Wilson had 9 catches, 90 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
His second touchdown was one of the greatest catches I've ever
It
seen.
was
Oh,
great.
Interesting.
It was amazing.
Oh, okay.
I had him on my fantasy team
Yeah.
last night.
The
So
Wow.
controversy
Very good.
of it was they were debating whether
it's like his shin. Or
his
something.
shin was that he was down by contact in the end zone for
Oh.
a touchdown
Oh, okay.
because his shin grazed the end zone before he went out of bounds.
Interesting.
People are saying that shouldn't count, that it should have been 2 feet in bounds.
He
He
got-
didn't have 2 feet in.
He got his
1 foot
He
in.
got his 1 foot in twice.
He got the same foot in twice, so they were debating whether that should count along with the shin or if it had to be
Well,
both
I-
feet.
See, the thing is also he still got the other foot in. I felt, but his shin hit the ground before that other foot.
So
I
it's,
think.
yeah, still great. It was a phenomenal catch. Both touchdowns were one-handed catches too by him on bullets from Rodgers. And then Devontae Adams it looked like a busted coverage play.
Yeah.
Or where he just beat the guy cleanly. Like the guy wasn't set and ready to cover him, and he just beat him cleanly for a 30-yard touchdown. And then for the Texans, you had CJ Stroud go for 11 completions out of 30 attempts for 190 yards. So he had a pretty rough game against the Jets defense.
Didn't he also get hurt?
I think he got shaken up a little bit because he was slow to get up towards the end of the game.
Mm.
He still didn't play. He played the whole game, but he was shaken up. Like he was slow to get up after certain hits. I mean, getting sacked 8 times a game,
Oof.
going to do that to you.
Wear and tear.
Wear and tear.
Wear and tear.
Tank Dell, not Tank Dell. Joe Mixon first had practically carried the load for the Texans because he was the only touchdown scorer of the game for them.
That banged up right now.
Yeah. 24 carries, 106 yards, and 1 touchdown.
Mm.
Tank Dell coming in as the number 1 wide receiver with no Diggs, no
He's
Nico
out for a
Collins.
season.
Nico Collins.
Diggs
Had
is out for the season,
126 receiving yards on 6 catches. And then Robert Woods had 44 yards.
Mm.
Of note, no receiver had a touchdown. They ran the ball 20 times. Mixon scored a touchdown, and then they kicked 2 field goals. So they couldn't get much going.
Wow.
But overall, it was a game I think we can all collectively agree the Jets needed.
Yes.
It's-
Definitely.
Yeah,
Especially after-
it didn't look good for them after what happened to what was his name, Corley?
Corley.
He
Yeah.
he pulled
We'll bring that
Deshaun
up.
Jackson.
So Malachi Corley, 30-yard end around play, was ruled a touchdown.
Initially,
They review it further. He dropped the ball at the 1-yard line and it fell in the end zone for a touchback. So the Texans got the
Wow.
ball after that great play.
Wow.
which is which was the most Jets moment to happen in like the last 20 minutes to that point.
That was a typical Jets moment in the game.
But he can breathe easy knowing that it didn't matter in the end.
Yeah, 'cause the
Right,
Jets
right.
still came back and scored 3 touchdowns in the second half.
and
It kind of reminded me of the game last year against Houston, where it was the first half. It was either 7-0 Houston or 0-0. And then the Jets came out in the second half against them last year with Zach Wilson and scored 30 points. So it kind of reminded me of that way. They had a slow start and then just came out and blew the doors off Houston in the second half.
it's going to be interesting to see how
It's going to be interesting.
for the Jets' sake here, this win hopefully
Yeah.
they build something off this because they desperately need to.
Yeah. And then before we go to the World Series recap and review, we'll just go to a quick preview of Jets Cardinals. That's Sunday at 4:00. That's a game that both teams need, but I think the Jets need a little bit more. Coming in at 3-6.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You know, if they
They
get
need to
that
climb.
win, that makes the Colts game in 2 weeks one of the most important games they're going to play in a while.
definitely.
Hopefully, they can deliver.
I mean, you can't afford to have a loss at this point now.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you got to climb from here.
You need at max. You can only have one more loss all season. If
Pretty
you
much.
go down to 8 losses, it's going to be very hard 9-8 to make the playoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to at least be 10-7 with the wild card to make it. So now we will go to sorry, Vin.
Womp womp.
Womp womp.
Put
Is there
the-
any one of those?
Is there any-
sad
is there
music?
any, like, sad
yes.
music?
Oh, yes.
Yankees lost, guys. What do we got going on
The
here?
World
This is so
Series.
over, guys. What are we doing here?
The World Series.
Yeah, that was.
Overall, as a series, baseball series, put the two fandom aside, I felt like it didn't go any way we expected, first of all. And I felt like outside of one game, which was
Game one.
game
one.
one, there was no excitement.
Nope.
It was a very
It
boring.
was.
You would have thought the two best teams in the league, two best teams in baseball, two best players in baseball, and Judge and Ohtani would have been a great high-scoring series. It was a very boring series. I feel like
It just-
CS
No
for both
excitement.
leagues.
It really felt like it was the Dodgers series to lose though after like
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah.
I really feel like the AL and the NLCS were better series than the World Series.
I think Dodgers Padres is better.
I
I
think-
won't even lie.
Dodgers Padres.
I mean, the
That was better.
NLCS it was a blowout like every game.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, I don't know if you guys are going to agree. I think with the way the outlook of the Yankees looks right now, with the free agents that they have, it's going to be very hard to replicate a World Series run next season.
Definitely.
I mean, yeah, it's gonna be
Because
hard.
even if they get Soto back, you're going to lose Torres.
Probably
Verdugo.
Verdugo's gone.
I don't care about him.
I mean,
Yeah,
Clay.
I think Yankee fans don't care about Clay and Verdugo. But
Rizzo's
they're
gone.
gone.
Rizzo's
They're
going to be
gone.
dropped.
I think
Rizzo's
I definitely
gone.
think Rizzo's gonna be.
Cole
They're
most
going to
likely
pick
is going to
Cole's.
opt in.
They're going to pick Cole's
what's gonna- what
extra year up.
I see is going to happen. He's going to try to opt out, and because
Yeah.
he's going to opt out, they're just going to pick the extra year up anyway, so he's
Exactly.
locked in.
I think he stays anyway.
I think regardless, he stays, obviously.
so.
So if they sign Juan Soto,
Which,
right?
I
'Cause,
mean,
like,
that's the
it's
best
the
move they
big-
can make.
we'll incorporate two topics I was going to talk into one here. Even if they sign Soto, how many more free agents after that are they going to run after to fill all these holes that they're going to have? Because if Soto takes a while to sign, I think they're going to lose Torres because I think they're going to focus all in. They have to sign Soto.
I mean, and
As a
but
front
and
office.
Scott Boras like will 100% drag this free agency out.
What do you think about that, man? You're the Yankee fan. I really want to get your take. What do you think they have to do? Do they push everything to Soto and Boras negotiations, or do they look at everyone that they have, like the key guys that played key roles that were good, not like a Clay Holmes, like Torres and other guys that are out? Do they focus on those as well, or do they put everything into this Juan Soto free agency pool?
Well, obviously he's 26 and he's a very generational player.
Yeah.
So you got to put all your chips in the
Yeah.
bag for him.
Obviously.
I think what they do is they negotiate with him until the winter meetings,
Yeah.
and they got a deal done there. Despite him being a Boris client, because Boris takes his sweet old time to
Yep.
get their agent signed, he doesn't care. As for everything else, if all goes right in the world and Soto signs, I think the Yankees just be in the trade market the entire rest of the
Yeah.
offseason
Yeah,
for like
I
a new
agree.
closer. They might use a farm for a second baseman.
I was
They
gonna say,
might.
'cause they're
But
gonna
it-
have
I
a
mean-
hole at second
Or
base.
I believe
if
Jazz
they-
could probably play second base.
Jazz could play second. You know,
Do you give the thing is LeMahieu's not LeMahieu? Do you
How
try
does-
to give him bats early in the year? Or do you just try to get rid of that contract?
you can't possibly play this guy anymore.
Because I'm gonna
The-
be honest, I don't really pay that close of attention to the Yankees. I just see like that he's been struggling, so I have no idea
And
what
they
do
owe
they
nothing.
do.
They don't really owe anything to him, and yet they
Yeah.
kept giving him at bats.
He is
'Cause
terrible.
I know he didn't take
How many
single
years does
at
he
bat
have
in the
left?
playoff.
He has 3 years left.
Oh my!
Can they
God.
DFA that? At least maybe put it in the minors, bury him in the minors, or outright it.
I'm not sure if they can until the last year, but
'Cause
I would hope
I don't know how
they
that works.
trade him and dump him off for like
Yeah.
something, attach a prospect to him just to,
Maybe
because, you're you're stuck with that. You're probably gonna have to like move on from Rizzo because there's no really point to keeping him.
Yeah.
Well, what was it?
Cabrera.
He could play
Cabrera.
every position in the infield.
Yeah, and they also got Rice at first.
And they got Rice. I forgot they have Ben Rice.
And the information DJ limited you.
But they have Ben Rice and Cabrera who both could play first.
Yeah.
Maybe you give, if they get rid of Rizzo, I think they give Rice and Cabrera a platoon at first.
Yeah.
And then second half of the year, whoever was hotter gets first base for a playoff push. Because the Yankees, I think next year, I think the Yankees absolutely are going to push for a playoff spot.
I mean, yeah.
They do it every year.
I think
It's
the challenging part is if like they lose some of these guys like Rizzo. I know
Right.
Rizzo wasn't ultra productive,
No.
but if they lose a guy like Rizzo, who's a great clubhouse guy,
Yeah.
they lose. If they were to lose Soto,
Wow.
which I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to sign there, especially because they made the World Series already with him
Yeah.
in his first year as a Yankee. I think he's going to look at it as they have unfinished business with him and Judge together. And I think he's going to sign there. Discount, I don't know because Boras is the agent.
Yeah.
I think if the Yankees match whatever Steve Cohen's offer is, he'll stay a Yankee.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
we'll have to see how that goes.
Look,
We don't know what's in his heart,
Boras,
though,
I think it's going to be in his ear not to take.
Because they've been waiting. Because him and Boras have been waiting for this day for like years.
Years. Oh my
Since
goodness.
the Nationals.
Since the Nationals.
Yeah.
So
Since he
that-
turned down that 15-year contract.
Yeah.
When
We've
he
been
turned down that
looking.
$444 million contract for 15 years, you know he was looking for $500 million plus.
North.
He knows what he's worth, and he put in all his chips and made out, and he's gonna make out like a bandit.
He's playing it right. He honestly though, if the Padres didn't have to do that whole thing with the bankruptcy and had to start trading guys left and right, he probably stayed in San Diego another year and cashed out from San Diego.
Yeah.
I think the only reason he was able to get traded to the Yankees is because they had to shed salary and he was the only flexible guy.
And also they probably knew he was gonna test free agency
And they knew
anyway.
he was going to test free agency San Diego, so
Right.
they're looking to get something for him.
They wanted to get value out of him.
And hey,
Yeah.
honestly, that's the trade is the first time in a long time I've seen a trade of a superstar that well work out as a win-win for both.
Yeah.
sides.
Kinda
Michael
worked out for
King's
both.
good.
Michael King's good. Kagawa Shioka was like
Decent
was
for
at least
San
decent.
Diego.
The rest is scrubs, but
Yeah.
we don't talk
I
about
mean,
that.
had Drew
Thorpe is
Drew
a
Thorpe-
the White Sox.
How,
He ended up on the White Sox
somehow
Yeah,
I did
for
not-
somehow-
Cease
I
too,
did
though. You know,
Yeah, for
so
Cease.
that's
Oh, yeah,
pretty
that's
good.
right.
That's
He got
pretty
traded
good.
for two
Oh, wow.
superstars in 1 year.
That's pretty
That's
good.
decent enough.
I mean, I wonder how he feels about that, but ended up on the White Sox and such.
Yeah, but like you look at it, I think for both teams that made the World Series this year, next year might be a little bit more of a challenging run for both teams because everyone knows the Dodgers form. Everyone's seen it now. You know, the Dodgers formula is don't chase, play balls, go down the middle, whether you hit a home run, fly out, strike out.
well,
Don't
that,
chase balls.
I mean, Otani's gonna be pitching again next year.
And
Yeah.
they're probably going to push for Sasaki. Let's be honest here.
Oh yeah.
Sasaki to the Mets, baby.
Oof.
I don't know about
I
that
hope.
one. I don't
I
know
mean,
about that one.
I'd rather that than the Dodgers.
Yeah. No, they don't even know if Sasaki's gonna get posted yet.
That's
Yeah.
He's only 22.
Something. Yeah, they can
So,
wait.
I was reading today to get like notes and stuff for the show. Sasaki's only 22. If he wants to sign, he has to sign a minor league deal.
Yeah.
So any team that gets him is going to get him on a steal of a contract.
Mm-hmm.
If he signs to a 5-year minor league deal or however long minor deal,
I mean, however long it can be, like you
However
sign
long it
that.
can be.
You sign it tomorrow, probably.
you sign if he's posted and you're able to sign him until he's 25 at like a million or less per year because minor leagues, I think minor league deals don't exceed millions.
No,
No,
they
no.
don't.
They
It's
don't.
like under.
Yeah. So if you're going to sign this guy for $980,000 and he's playing at Cy Young level,
Yeah.
that's a steal for whoever gets him.
I mean, yeah,
Crazy
and you
stuff.
have a window.
Yep.
That's why they were saying he's going to be more chased after than Yamamoto was. And Yamamoto coming over was only 25.
And you,
Yeah.
got the, and you got the richest pitching
And you got
contract.
big payday.
$310 million deal.
Big payday.
Yep.
But Sasaki's not going to be able to get that payday.
If he
No.
gets
Right
posted
away.
now,
He
If
would
he's
have to
posted
wait.
now, he's not gonna.
So it's going to be, I think they're actually going to do right by the player and they're going to wait 3 years to post him.
Probably.
and he's
Yeah.
just going to destroy Japan for the next 3 years.
Unless he wants to leave now.
Unless he absolutely wants to go to the MLB now and then bank on himself being a big shot in the MLB and getting paid in the MLB after that.
Right.
But we'll see about
We'll
that.
see about that.
I think he's going to end up in the Yankees.
Who's this?
Sasaki.
What?
I think they're going to be so heavy after pitching. Don't
Yeah.
be shocked if they're making a big run for Corbin Burns.
I would be.
Put him and Cole together.
I feel like the chances for them to land Crochet are better, but
In a
I
trade,
think
hope
the
so.
Yankees probably are gonna
they're going to be huge in the
huge
pitching
in the
market.
trade market. This
Yeah.
offseason,
I think they're
so-
gonna
like I
try
said,
to-
after Soto, they're definitely going to be.
They're
active
going to
on the
look to
trade
finesse
market.
someone to take on Stroman
That'd be cool. And I know what? I honestly see that.
because they can't DFA him
No, he's got.
because it's fully guaranteed. So if they DFA him
Yeah.
and he doesn't take the minor league option and he opts out and becomes a free agent and gets outrighted, they're still paying him
They're still
$30
paying
million
him.
a year
Yep.
for another year. So they're like, are they gonna? They're not gonna risk DFAing him and him playing hardball and becoming a free agent and getting paid. They're
Right.
just either gonna bite the bullet and have him on the roster
or
and
find
pitch him,
find a trade partner.
or
They'll
find like
dump
a
him off.
find like a really bad team that's nowhere near like Chicago, Anaheim,
I probably need
Minnesota's not rich in pitching. I'm just saying.
Minnesota. They're
They
gonna
don't
find
spend
someone
money
that
on it.
either needs pitching or that's a horrible team that could take on the salary for now
Oh yeah,
and trade him. So if they go for Crochet, maybe they throw Stroman in the deal and throw some of their better prospects because they're gonna have to throw elite prospects in anyway.
yeah.
But
They've asked for Jones in the past, which probably I would do. As
Maybe-
crazy as it sounds, he's had a bad year in the minors, and he's not showing as much as
Yeah.
Yankee fans. So
I feel the same way about not Gilbert. Who's the other prospect the Mets have that struggled?
Chet Williams,
Williams.
well, he was injured also. Like for
Yeah.
a long
I'll give him
time.
the benefit of the doubt.
I'll give him next year. If he's not playing good next year, healthy, I would look to definitely trade him for a big name.
Probably.
Definitely.
I think we're going to be where the Mets are going to be heavy into Juan Soto and heavy into Corbin Burns.
Definitely.
Probably, yeah.
And I
can
think
see
we have an
Burns.
advantage over everyone else with David Stearns talking to Burns.
Oh
Yeah, no,
we'll
yeah.
see.
They've had their relationship, so
Yeah. Because Stearns wasn't the one that traded Burns either. He was
wasn't.
I know.
traded after he left.
yeah, he was
Or
traded
after
after.
he was like not really there anymore. Yeah.
yeah,
Once
yeah.
Stearns came to the Mets, that's when they made all these moves.
hmm
So
It'll be interesting. I don't know if you want Burns does scare me a bit because I don't know if you want to go how long term you want to go with him.
how old is Corbin Burns?
30.
Yeah, he's 30, right?
And
he
he's like
wants-
kind of his stuff is kind of starting to like dip somewhat.
But look, if he wants a 4 or 5 year thing,
I mean, I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that. If he wants a 4 year, say 120,
Yeah.
I think I would take that.
I mean, for a guy who still has his strikeout stuff and
Yeah.
racks up 200 Ks
Well,
a year, you know?
You got to look. Maybe they bring back Shamanaya too, and they have Senga, who's supposed
Hopefully, we'll be healthy.
hopefully he's gonna be healthy.
Yeah.
So if they get Burns, there's the pressure on it to be good, yeah, because it's New York. But if he's struggling and they got to drop him in the pitching rotation, and they have Benaya and what's his name who are playing like they
Senga.
could, Senga,
Senga. Yep.
playing like we know how they can play.
And if Peterson like kind of repeats any of it of this past
Well,
year,
If they could get Burns, they're one and bring back Manaya, their 1 through 4 could be one of the top in baseball. Corbin Burns, Manaya, Senga, and then Peterson. You really only have a hole at 5, which you
Yeah.
can fill
I mean,
with
you could-
Taylor McGill,
well, I think I would rather have Jose Budo. And that's it.
Budo,
Yeah.
Jose Budo, Tyler McGill. Even if they bring back Quintana for another year. I mean, I know he's older, but him as a 5 starter,
1 year deal.
I
I'll
think
take it.
Severino's gone.
I
Severino's
think
gone.
he's going to cash out,
I
He
think
might
he's
get a
cashing
payday.
out on the career, not career year,
but
No.
a resurgence.
but on the resurgence year. And I think Manaya is going to be a little more loyal.
well, I think Manaya's also going to get a big payday. Too.
Yeah, but I think the Mets
With the
are gonna
way
pay
the
him.
pitching market is, I think everyone's getting a payday, first
Oh,
of
yeah.
all.
I
So
was saying, I think
Severino's
Manaya is going to
probably
be a
going to
little
get.
bit more loyal and
Yeah.
give the Mets a little more leeway to negotiate with. Him.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
I
think
still think he's
Sevy's
going
gonna
to opt out of his like option.
Yeah, his option is
Shamanai?
13.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to opt out of 13 mil and look maybe for 20, 25
Oh,
a
yeah.
year.
Right. Yeah.
Which I think the Mets will give him easy.
I think so too.
But if the Mets run it back with this team and you add Corbin Burns and say Soto, it's literally if they run it back with the core they have plus those two, that's
It's crazy.
dangerous.
I don't even know how. I can't believe we're having thoughts like this as Met fans.
Yeah, exactly. I would not have ever thought about getting Juan Soto and Corbin Burns and bringing back Pete Alonso with the Wilpons.
With the
It would have been you
Wilpons.
got one and you got nothing else for free agency.
Yes,
You got one, and then you got Dylan Betances and Rick
No,
Porcello.
Dylan Betances was the marquee free agent signing.
Yeah, he was the marquee, and then the compliments were Rick Porcello
and
Michael Walker.
And then Michael Walker emerged as a solid arm like a few years later.
Yeah.
Again.
And then Aaron Loop.
Aaron Loop.
Aaron Loop was
Aaron
He was
Loop
good.
had a
2021.
had a
Really good.
.61 ERA in
He was
2021.
great.
He's good.
And then we let him go.
Yeah.
And
And
he's been
he-
horrible
He
since.
has not been good
Well,
since.
all pitchers' careers in Los Angeles,
Yeah.
especially the Angels,
Die.
go to heck.
Yeah.
So
But that's great. Like I'm thinking back. Never would I have thought they would have traded and gave Lindor what they got.
But yeah.
Never under the Wilpons would I have thought they would have traded for Francisco Lindor. Never under the Wilpons would I have had thoughts about signing Soto.
A player like Soto.
Any player, even Ohtani last
player
year.
of his caliber.
Even
Yeah.
going back to 2023 when you had Ohtani and Yamamoto.
Yeah.
Never would have thought that as a Met fan,
Maybe. Just maybe.
the Wilpons would have been all over that.
It's
But
new
now-
time in New York.
Yeah.
I
New
mean, it's
time.
going to be great for baseball.
Great.
I mean,
next
we'll
few
still.
years.
I mean, but we'll still see how they go about their off season
Yeah.
in that sense. It's not a guarantee.
Yeah, but it's
They'll be
hopefully it's-
aggressive for
they'll be
sure.
aggressive.
And that scares the Yankee fan.
The
in
thing,
me.
Yeah.
what it is if they don't land Soto, I'm gonna obviously it's obviously upsetting, but if they don't land Soto, Cohen's gonna go on a warpath and get someone else. He's got something planned.
Oh yeah.
He's going to get Santander if they get Soto.
Yeah, he's
Maybe.
got something unplanned, like that nobody's thinking of in the trade market in his back pocket that he's gonna try to do.
It's just
I
Santander
see
feels
it.
like a Met.
I see
Kind of.
I see some big time trade happening if they don't get Soto, but like I'm like bigger than Santander,
Oh,
like
interesting.
superstar level.
Who are you thinking?
I'm trying to think now. Like,
A few players.
what you
I
got?
can't put like an exact player on it, but I feel like he's got something cooking. There's got to be players that nobody knows, like that we don't know
Who are
of
even
that
available?
That are available.
Hmm.
I'm trying to think of like actual players that nobody's thinking are available that would be available.
Can the Astros pay Tucker?
That's what I'm saying.
That's
what I'm saying.
Can
Like
the
that.
Astros pay Tucker?
Think who's a free agent at third base. And
Exactly.
Because the thing is, if Alonso leaves,
Yeah.
get Bregman,
Get
put
Bregman.
Vientos at first base.
Yeah.
Or you get
Even
even if
get Vlad Guerrero.
That's not
Trade for
impossible.
Guerrero.
I mean, that's not impossible. If they fail to sign him to an extension,
Vientos as
Yeah.
the DH.
yeah.
I mean, I think they're gonna try to sign Pete though.
No,
they're
they're gonna
of
try to
course.
I think there's something.
I think that's the
I
first
think
resort.
Lindor's the captain,
know?
but they're going to prioritize Pete
Oh,
and
yeah.
Soto.
because
Yeah.
I saw the assumption like I don't know who's really gonna pay for Pete Alonso,
Mm,
even though there are
And I
suitors.
think it's
I don't know
There's
if he's gonna
plenty
get a
of
better deal than he probably will
contenders,
get
though.
with the Mets.
Yeah.
yeah, I agree.
That's how I think of it.
Yeah.
I
And then
mean,
you
no,
have-
I can't say he won't sign with. I can tell he totally can sign with another team.
it's just who and where are going to give him exactly what he's looking for from the Mets.
Yeah.
If he's looking for a $200 million deal, I know he didn't have a great average this year, and he was like,
He was below 800 OPS. He was a very underwhelming season.
I would
Yeah.
still be comfortable giving him a $200 million.
200 would be a bit much, but I'm like, well, it doesn't really money doesn't really matter much.
That's
here.
why.
It ain't my money.
Bro,
Yeah,
if it's
mine.
under 8, okay, if it's under 8 years and it's like 2 to 220 range, I'm totally fine with giving him that.
Yeah.
I mean, like the richest first baseman contract is like Matt Olson,
Matt
I
Olson.
think, with like 180 million or something like that.
Yeah. So he's
Freeman
gonna try to-
160.
Freeman
160.
160 mil.
So I'm like, how much more can you really get out of that? How much?
Can you get 40 mil more from
In this market, you could probably get 180.
Yeah.
Realistically, 180, 190 ish. Unless they do something insane.
Yeah.
But
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Oh,
with
yeah.
Pete Alonso and
No say.
this offseason is going to be fun.
We just I just realized we combined 3 out of the 4 topics in one massive conversation.
That's good.
That's great. Because I was
We're
like
keeping
trying
it
to think.
flowing.
I was trying to think how are we gonna get to some of the things I want to bring up. We brought everything up.
There we go.
Next free agency plans, the Yankees,
Yeah.
Soto, everything
Yep.
in one.
Oh, yeah.
It's perfect. flowed right through that.
Right through it.
The only other thing I would bring up is the Ranger game tonight.
Yeah.
The quick preview.
I've got thoughts.
That's where I brought Luke in for specifically for this one, because I know you're not like huge into hockey. So I was like, being that I want to start bringing it in a little bit, I feel like bringing in like Luke. Shout out Billy.
Shout out Vinny Trocheck.
Shout out Billy Ferg. But like, because I don't want to like bore you with hockey talk.
We have
No,
Victor
I know.
Mancini now.
Yeah, we have Mancini. We have 2 Italians.
Two
So all I was
Paisans.
going to say for that game is we're playing Ottawa. 7:00, I think.
Yes.
I was going to bring up a couple points. Lafreniere
Extension.
Great. I mentioned it a little bit last week, but we didn't have full numbers, so now we can talk about it a little bit more. It's a steal.
It is a steal. 7 years, $7.45 million per year.
So making $7.45 million per year in hockey, yeah, it's
It
a
is
lot
it is
for
a
hockey.
lot,
But there's players that are younger and drafted and that are worse than Lafreniere, making $8-9 million a year, which is insane. See, like in baseball, there's nobody making that. You got to be like ass.
it's
to
like
be
it's
making
like
$7 million.
it's like
That'd be
the
terrible.
contract is kind of like signing like
Dude, you're a utility man if you make $7 million.
Luis
in baseball.
Guillorme's making $7 million.
Yeah. Anyone
Yeah.
can make $7 million. Come on.
The total value of Lafreniere's contract is less than Otani's yearly salary.
yeah. The NHL, man. There's no league quite like it.
No.
There's no league quite like that.
Lafreniere's
Tries to kill
making
its league.
52. So he signed a $7.45 million deal. He's making 52.1 mil total.
Wow.
And that
There's
con-
about 10 baseball and football players that are making that yearly,
Yearly. Yeah.
Yep.
which is insane.
And at
Or even
one
close
point,
to that.
and at one point, okay, side tangent. In the early 2000s, the Rangers signed Bobby Holik to garbage contract of I saw like $9 million per year.
Yeah.
Around the same time, Johnny Damon signed with the Red Sox for like $7 million a year.
Yeah.
Which was at the time
It was like the
It
big
was a
contract.
pretty rich contract for someone of Johnny Damon.
Yeah.
Hockey has gone down in salaries.
The fact that
Since it locked down in
Bobby
05.
Holik got more money than Johnny Damon. I mean, different
Yearly.
sports.
Different sport, different situation.
But the fact that you're like looking at Holik getting 9 million from the Rangers, and then Johnny Damon,
Like
Getting
just over
$7 million
over
from the Red
just
Sox?
over $1 million from the Red
he's
Sox.
getting like triple that now in today's landscape of baseball.
oh yeah.
Well, that's because there's no luxury tax, or there's no salary cap. There's just luxury tax.
Yeah.
Hockey, there's a full on salary cap, and it's a low cap. It's only 90 mil.
Yeah.
I mean, and also like the pandemic like shortened a lot of like the cap.
Yeah,
because of
COVID
that flat
really.
hit.
See, like COVID really ruined the cap for hockey,
Yes.
because they, instead of just saying
It's
we'll
gonna go up.
defer money and we'll
It's-
defer money of your contracts and like give void year. The smart thing would be give void years to players on long-term deals with deferred money, so when the cap goes up, they still get paid.
Yeah, but then it
didn't
didn't
do
go. It
that.
didn't go up for like a few years because
It just went up
this past the off
this
season.
past off season.
And that means it's going to go up though over the next.
It's
couple years,
going up
hopefully.
over the next 2 years. But so COVID happened in 2020. They did the bubble. Then the whole thing with the salary happened where they were trying to get play back up for 2021. So the smarter thing to do would have been they played from January to July of 2021. And then they came back in September with a full regular hockey season. The stupidest thing they ever did was they put every player's salary in an escrow
Oh my god.
instead of deferring and adding voided
That's right.
years. So even when the contract expired, they should have put a void year of how many years they were going to miss of pure salary of getting paid. So if COVID was going to end a whole season, there's a void year to every player's contract. At the end of their contract, they get the extra year of salary that they missed from playing. That's the smarter thing to do. And the NHL fumbled so bad that it crippled their cap. And that's why contracts like $7 million
Like,
a year.
we're crippling for a little bit.
That's why like a 7-year like Panarin's contract.
I mean, it's still a great contract.
It's a
in
great
my
contract
opinion.
to have.
That's pretty good.
But
Even though
making
he's like the highest paid player on the team, he's
He's making
worth it.
11.5 or 12.5 million a year. It's like eating at the cap a lot because the cap was so crippled.
It was and stayed the same.
That's why it's worrisome if they give Igor $12 million a year. I mean, I think they should.
I
But
think they probably will.
they probably will.
They were talking about percentages as like for cap percentages in their
Yeah.
negotiations.
Yeah.
So we'll see how much it goes up
Mhm.
by. But I think they'll sign him. He's been out to a good start this year. And
It's Dom.
Shout out, Dom.
Shout out, Dom. Stop
It's
texting me when I'm on air, Dom.
it's just the thing I'll say about Igor, to the people who don't want to sign him or pay him I just need to ask, who will you replace him with? You pay for consistency.
I saw some of the
And-
stupidest stuff on Twitter. Someone said they
yeah.
would trade Igor for what's his name on Boston. Swayman. Trade him to Boston for Swayman.
Boston makes that
Because
deal.
Swayman only wanted $8 million a year.
I thought he was going to get more than
yeah,
that.
but Boston doesn't give in.
Yeah, I mean, it's just if you can't replace someone like Igor Shesterkin. You can't rely on some goalie like Jonathan Quick being 39 and being a starting card of a goalie. You just you can't bank on that.
And I want to tie that back to a little bit of what we said with baseball. Like, first of all, the salaries. The salary these hockey players are looking for is like rookie arbitration contracts, 12, 13 million a year.
Yeah.
So that's first. Second, Igor Shesterkin to the Rangers is Aaron Judge to the Yankees. He's that important.
Captain.
Well,
What do you
They don't name
He's a goalie.
goalies.
Oh, he's a
captain.
goalie.
They don't
Oh,
name goalies captain.
They don't
Hockey's so
name
weird.
goalies captain.
which is kind of dumb.
It's kind of
But-
What? Wow.
because there's a lot of goalies that should be captain. Like Henrik Lundqvist back in the day should have been captain for a while.
He wasn't captain. Wow.
Basically,
Lundqvist
He was
was
a big part of the
captain.
team.
Sometimes what they do is they give the C to actual like defensemen, or
skaters.
but the goalie's captain in the locker room.
I remember like Luongo once had like a C on his helmet, and NHL told him, "No, you can't have that."
Yeah, in like 2010, one of the goalies on the Vancouver Canucks, Roberto Luongo, he was named captain, and they put the C on his helmet instead of his jersey to try to get away with him being captain because he was the real captain in the locker room.
Yeah.
And the NHL wouldn't allow it. So even though he was like a true leader in the locker room, they had to put on one of the Sedin
This is one of
brothers.
Sedin's on Henrik. They put on
Yeah.
Henrik Sedin, and
But like when you look at Igor's like Aaron Judge to the or Pete Alonso to the like a homegrown player that you have to keep for their career.
Yeah. A leader.
Yeah.
Yep. But I mean, he'll keep this up. I'm not worried about him.
No, he's
I mean, there's not a lot to be worried about with this Rangers team because I mean they started off really well. Though I mean, some of the losses they've had were not so good against Florida and then Washington.
Yeah.
And one person who I'm like starting to get a little bit annoyed with, but I'm like I feel like it's still too early. But Mika's advantage is not playing like a number one center man.
yeah.
It really isn't.
Give him a couple more months. Give him to like
I mean,
December.
yeah. I mean, they're decreasing his ice time, man, from
Yeah.
Filipino on a 5v5. Because Filipino has been great this year
Yeah.
to start the season. But that's a whole other thing. You can't, as great as Hedl is, you just want, because of his injury here, so you're just wondering when's something bad going to happen
Yeah.
next. That's
So-
like scaring me. That's where, if Mika was playing as well as we know he can be, this wouldn't be much of an issue then.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be as like scary of a thought.
Exactly. Now I have sometimes so every show I'm gonna try to bring in either a trivia question or an opinionated question.
Very good.
We're gonna come in with the opinionated one this week,
Oh,
and it's
What's
for
up?
both of you guys.
What's up?
And we're gonna go to baseball because we talked a lot about baseball.
Hit me.
I want to know your opinion. Do you think Judge is can ever break? Not is ever because he's been can ever break the MLB home run record of 72, 73?
The regular season home run
Yeah,
record.
Barry
for
Bonds' record. Do you think Judge has it in him? He's been close. He's hit over 60. He's broke the Yankees record, and he hit 50. He don't hit almost 60 this year. Do you
He
think
broke the
could hit-
AL record.
Broke the AL record. Do you think he could hit for the baseball record?
You cannot go into a slump at all
You just can
in
never
order
go
for
into
that
a
to
s-
happen.
Yeah, you just. Can
That's why
never
I'm
go into a
asking you because
slump.
I know you're big. Like you're the big Yankee fan. One of the big Yankee fans I know.
Yeah.
And you're like big into the stats and stuff too. That I had to ask that. I just thought of that. I was like, I got to get your opinion for that one
mhm.
because I'm looking at it as a fan that doesn't truly follow the Yankees that much. I've been saying I think he has that potential to do it.
He
thing
does.
is, he's got to have a fully healthy year because we all know a couple
What
of
he
years
can do.
he struggles with injuries here and there.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. Look, he had a great full healthy season this year. Hopefully he could break that pattern.
We'll see.
Because I love Aaron Judge as a baseball player. He's, in my opinion, the best player in the league. Always, when people ask me, I always say I take him because he's a great defender and he's got one of the best bats in baseball, if not the best bat in baseball.
I'd say people sleep on his defense, but he made a boneheaded play game 5.
Yeah.
I think he's got to play
was
right
pretty
field.
bad.
I think he's got to
go back to right.
He can't. Yeah, that's the only
Something's
thing.
got to change.
Especially in Yankee Stadium with the shorter porch
Yeah.
than most stadiums, I think he should play right. I was saying if they sign Soto, put Soto back to his natural position at left. Put Judge back to his natural at right, and then put Dominguez at center.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Someone was on.
Too.
I was talking to someone. They go, they should put Stanton back in the outfield. I'm like,
He will break a toenail just running for
Stanton
a fly
hasn't
ball.
played the outfield since like 2008.
No, I need some sort of sound on this. Where's the dumb? No. Yeah, what was that? Come on. What are we doing?
When did the Yankees get Stanton?
What are we doing? 2018.
No,
He hasn't played the outfield since.
Well, he's played outfield in spurts, but not sustained.
Yeah, he's been primarily the Yankees DH.
These fans make this narrative he's a better hitter when he's a fielder, and while that may be true, he also gets injured when he hits. When
he plays the field.
When he plays the field, and don't get me wrong, he could get injured when he hits too. But
he's also like 36.
He's
he
36.
Can't run,
dude.
Look, he struggled to run the bases a lot.
If anyone saw Game 3,
when they sent him home,
granted,
I don't know
it was
why
his.
Luis Rojas sent him home.
Luis Rojas. I don't know what you were thinking, buddy. I don't know
Rojas.
why you're so. I mean, I get it. We were desperate to score a run. You cannot send Stanton on that. Teoscar has a hose. All right. I can trust Verdugo throwing a dart to get Stanton out.
Yeah.
That's saying something. Saying something,
sometimes
dude.
when I look for topics and stuff to talk about online, some of the things you see is mind melting. Some takes you see.
That
It's
is atrocious.
horrible.
That is atrocious.
That was one of the worst takes I saw was they should move Stanton back to the outfield.
He's only getting older. And he's only declining.
That's the whole point of having a DH is for those players that have great bats but can't run anymore.
Stanton, bro. Stanton's the perfect DH. Yeah. I'm telling you.
I do think they should get someone to platoon with him a little bit because he's getting older to preserve him. Because look how good he was in the playoffs every day.
Yeah.
You don't want him getting hurt during the regular season and taken away from that opportunity of being a playoff hitter.
They should sign Bell to the league minimum.
Josh Bell?
Yeah, platoon him. Why not?
Josh Bell's a switch hitter.
Yeah, but play him against righties and play Stanton against lefties.
Honestly, that would be smart.
Why not?
And then you have him come in off the bench when the bullpen goes. If a team's predominantly righty bullpen,
why not?
You have him come off against the righty.
Why not? Josh Bell's better as a lefty anyway.
Yeah.
So
there we go.
Just saying. I mean, he can't play every day. Well, there's no way Josh Bell can play every day. Not at this stage in his career.
What Stanton's reminding me of, but in a better aspect, is the JD Martinez on the Mets this year. Elite first half, struggles in the second half. And I think what the Yankees are smarter than the Mets in doing is they would sign someone to platoon with him from the beginning to preserve him.
They did it with Carpenter 2 years ago when he was out. So
which was smart. Carpenter played really well with them.
Lightning in a bottle, but I enjoyed every single minute of it.
Yeah.
I did not take that mustache for granted, by the way.
It was a killer mustache.
That was something you will never see in 100 years of baseball.
It's great.
Yeah. What about you, Luke?
That was amazing.
What do you think about that? The question
about
the Aaron Judge. Do you think he could break the home run record?
It's gonna be really hard to do that.
I
don't know.
I thought of that on the fly, and I'm gonna get their opinions because I was I'm really interested in seeing.
I feel he's the only person that probably could do it.
Yeah. Realistically, yeah.
He's easily the best, one of, if not the best, non-steroid hitter baseball's seen.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Because Barry Bonds is a great hitter, but the steroids, how much
steroids?
Steroids. Same thing with Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa. Aaron Judge is just swinging.
Can you imagine Judge with steroids? That's.
I don't think.
My goodness.
I think Judge on steroids. Every ball he made contact with would just leave the stadium. Especially
That's ridiculous.
Especially like a team like you look at him playing in Denver. Like look at him playing the altitude. Imagine you put Aaron Judge on Barry Bonds levels of steroids and put him in Denver, Colorado for a 3-game series. They're going to intentionally walk this guy.
MLB The Show type stuff. Like it's when you switch the filters.
Yeah, like when you put everything on rookie difficulty.
99 power, rookie difficulty.
Like, can you imagine that?
Oh my goodness.
That would be crazy if he played during the steroids era. Because he's already what, 6'9", 6'8"?
6'7".
He's tall.
Yeah, he's a tall man.
He's a monster.
He
already hits 60 home runs a year.
Could have got there. He was 2 home runs away.
Yeah.
2.
Doesn't matter though. He's MVP.
He's MVP.
He might win unanimous.
I mean, to me as a fan, it matters because what's he won right now, you know, besides individual awards. But,
no, yeah, of course. I'm saying like just like, as a whole baseball fan, does 58 to 60 matter when when you're
winning MVP anyway.
Yeah.
And you're helping your team get in the playoffs.
Obviously it matters. But what I'm saying is like, as a fan, I think if I was a Yankee fan, I would say obviously it matters. Like I would agree with you there. But I'm looking at an overall baseball fan. I think the two-run difference is like so minute that he's winning MVP unanimous anyway.
Oh yeah, no, it's without a doubt.
And what's his name? If you guys won the World Series, Stanton's World Series MVP.
Yeah.
Did he win league MVP? Not MVP, like the LCS. It was Stanton, right?
Yeah.
He won LCS MVP.
He was easily the World Series MVP for them.
Such a stud in the playoffs. He just wakes up. I mean, not that he's bad, but when he goes into the playoffs, he just hits. He hits.
Yeah, he hits more in the playoff than the
That's all he does. He hits.
Yeah, he's a playoff performer. Sometimes you need those guys that might struggle in the regular season, but are playoff performers.
We need 9 Stantons.
9
Stantons, 0 Judges.
I don't know. I think Judge in the postseason should bat clean up with guys on because you're batting him third, and there's a high likelihood sometimes what's his name in Soto, Torres and Soto were both out. I think you should leave Torres where he was. I don't know how the Yankees line up in full looks, but I have been saying for a while, I think they should have dropped Soto and Judge to 3 and 4 and put someone with speed at 2.
I'd put Jazz at 2.
Just for his speed.
Yeah.
His bat might be horrible, but his speed.
Listen, if you're going to run the base paths like a freak like he did in game 1, game 1 of the World Series, he stole 3 bases.
And he has a good eye, so he does walk even though his bat kind of struggles.
He just swings. He
gets on base.
While he does have a good eye, he swings at stuff sometimes,
But I would maybe bump for his speed, bump him up to 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And then have him and Torres at the top. And then have Judge and Soto covering them. So if they're both on base, you could have Soto and Judge together at 3 and 4.
He's no stranger to batting leadoff too. So
Jazz?
Jazz lit off a lot in Miami.
Yeah, he did.
So
a lot of times baseball, they try to put the guy with speed at leadoff to get on base.
Astros.
The Mets, they try doing. They do it with Nimmo. I mean, now they do it with Lindor because Lindor's their best hitter. But and I think they should stay that way. But I think their 1-2 should be Lindor and then Nimmo.
Yeah, it's just Nimmo. Nimmo's at his best. He's like taking pitches and is like working the at bat. Yeah, he's able to draw walks, which can give Lindor a chance to to steal if he wanted.
Yeah, and he's got great.
Lindor's a very good space stealer.
He would have had a 33 season if he didn't get injured in the later half.
Yes,
right.
He would have had a 33
season
because he was only 1 stolen base away and he missed 8 games.
Ooh. Yeah.
Well, 1 stolen base away and 8 games missed. The back injury.
Yeah, and he was still probably injured, so you weren't expecting to steal.
Yeah, like when he came back against Atlanta, he wasn't expected to steal because of his back, because they wanted to try to keep him healthier for the postseason.
Yeah.
But what I would do to have a player like Judge on my team.
Yeah.
I just want a playoff performer. Please. I need a World Series, man. I'm running out of time.
They'll get one.
Sandy wash.
They'll get one.
Obviously, I got a lot to go.
Yeah, but I think they get one. I think they'll get one with Judge. The thing is, can they just fill out the bottom of the order?
Listen, my take is the AL is only going to get better throughout the next years. All right, you got to run through it first to get to the World Series. That was a hike to get up. I'm honestly, the Yankees play 2 easy opponents. I'm just going to say that now.
They play the AL Central.
They play the AL Central. They own the AL Central, even in the regular season. But
do you know when I think they're going to win the World Series? I know they made it this year.
Do I think they're going to win the World Series?
When I think they will.
Okay, go ahead.
when they beat Houston in a
Oh
postseason.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think the year that they're the team that beats Houston in the playoff is the year they have all the momentum to go win a World Series. I've been saying it for years because between the cheating scandal in 2017, 2019, and 2022, all three of those playoff losses haunt them. And I think that when they beat them, because I think they're going to beat them in a playoff series very soon. I think it's Houston. It's coming for Houston.
I feel like their dynasty's over, though.
I feel like their dynasty's over. I feel like
They're just a fringe playoff team now.
They're gonna make the playoff. They're gonna make the wild card
They will.
because that division's really not that good.
But they're not a powerhouse
They're not
anymore
a
like we
powerhouse.
once saw. Like,
They're not
you know,
from 2017 to when they beat Philadelphia.
2022. No,
Yeah,
they're not
the last
2022.
2 years.
Unless Jordan Alvarez becomes
Jesus Christ.
or Albert Pujols again.
Yeah.
But like they're not like that powerhouse.
They're not overpowering, dude.
So I always said when the Yankees beat Houston in the playoff series, because it's gonna happen eventually.
Yeah.
That will be the year that they win the World Series. So that'll give them all the momentum to finally beat the one team that's tormented them in the playoff. Because look, the year they didn't have to face them at all, they made a World Series appearance.
Right.
So it shows they're the only team
that
could
really
beat
gives
the
them
Yankees.
problems. Yeah.
Or it's to the Red Sox.
The Red Sox, too.
Them or the Red Sox. That's really it. That's the only two teams that give the Yankees problems in the last 20 years of the playoff.
Yeah.
So once they beat those two teams, I really, truly think that that's the year that they win the World Series because that's going to give them all the momentum.
I agree.
All right. We'll wrap up for this week. Next week, we'll do another we'll do a baseball free agency preview. And we'll have another football preview for the upcoming games.
Let's go.
Oh yeah, the NHL Global Series is happening right now.
And
too.
the NHL, we'll have more NHL. And then
Barkov scored the first goal in
Nice.
the Finland game.
that's great.
That's great. He's
Of course
from
he did.
Finland.
Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Yep. And
Want to hit the Halloween music?
Yep.